Hey guys, thanks for coming back. This is number 3 on the Prelude. We're gonna do a little brake work to it. We're gonna put the cylinder head back on it. We're gonna rebuild some carburetors for a CBR 900RR motorcycle and then install them on this thing. We might even go for a rip. We're going for a rip. If you have just stumbled onto my channel or you're a new subscriber, welcome aboard. You're in very safe hands. I will be your host, the one and only infamous Kentucky Yankee without a doubt. The proportioning valve, I could not find cup seals for it. These are cup seals. Here's one here. There's one on this part right here. There's O-rings. Anyways, I ended up cleaning everything up. It was so nasty, full of rust. I thought maybe if I cleaned everything and put it back together, maybe it won't leak. Maybe it's got grit in there. And I did take the measurements of all these parts so I can be looking them up. Meanwhile, if I put it back together and it's still leaking, I'll try and find the parts. This was a little disappointing. I thought it'd be real easy to find these seals after I measured them. All put together, I didn't waste my time cleaning up the outside. I'm gonna throw it on the car now and we'll see what happens. The valve is assembled and put back on. I flushed the brake system out. I bled the brakes. They are solid, and this valve is not leaking one single itty bitty drop. It must have been all that crud and rust and stuff in there. Brake fluid will absorb moisture, especially over the years. So I think that's why there's so much rust and nastiness inside of the system. The one issue I did have was this right rear hose is completely stopped up. No fluid will go through it. But I know that's all that's wrong with it because I cracked it loose up there where the hose connects to the steel line and it bled fluid easily. So it's just a rubber line completely stopped up. I'll order one. New hose arrived. Let's make quick work of this. Why'd I take this side off first? Because I knew it was stopped up and it wouldn't leak any fluid. Having to use the old washers because this did not come with new ones. It'll be all right. Now I'll just bleed it out. Let's see what this hose looks like. Had to be completely stopped up. Nope, not there. Where's the blockage? Yeah, it's stopped up right here. The emergency brake is going all the way up and it's not holding, so in behind this cover here, I think is an adjustment for the cable. Oh yeah, right there is a nut. I know it's got a long way to go before it does anything. Let's see how they're working. No, they're not working. No, not at all. What the issue is this is getting pulled all the way with a cable, but it's not grabbing the brakes. Okay, I just released it and it didn't move, so it must be froze up. I got this side freed up. It was froze. Looking good now. I found a much easier way to free this up. Take the spring off, it just pops off. Then put your wrench on here, and now you can just go back and forth until the thing is worked loose. I got one side working, but not this side. This side, the lever, if you pull it with the cable, it runs out of cable before it locks up the brake. So I don't know if there's something wrong with the caliper or what, but we need to move on. Now for a brief and awkward moment with Ben. Many of you that have watched my channel for quite some time now must know that I'm somewhat of a lone wolf. Unable to build my channel with just the tools that YouTube provides and the algorithm, I was forced into an unwelcome lesson of humility. Although forced into this lesson, I am quite pleased to find out that there are many people out there willing to help a guy if he just asks. The rolling force behind me right now to get this YouTube channel moving is incredible. That force being all of my loyal and supportive viewers, those of you that always hit the like button, always leave a comment. I do have some new subscribers and they're also helping out. Everybody has kind of gathered together to help me. Many of you just leave a comment saying, just here to support, or just a thumbs up, and that is a big deal to the YouTube algorithm. Eventually you're going to get the message and we're skyrocketing up. On behalf of the Kentucky Yankee YouTube channel, I, the Benny, would like to thank each and every one of you for your continued support and help with my channel. Before we get back to work, there's somebody I need to personally thank, and that is Roger. Roger gave me a super thanks in the comments, and it made my day. One more time, thanks again, everyone. Let's get back to work. Changing out the valve seals. I'm not lapping them in or anything like that. I'm just gonna change the seals. Stupid thing. Freaking A. That's ridiculous. Trying to get you guys a good angle where you can see what I'm doing, and me being able to do it sometimes can be difficult. Makes it more difficult anyway, so we'll do it this way. This tool, I've showed it in the past, has a magnet in there and it catches your keepers when you smack it like that. If you do it in the car, you're supposed to air up the cylinders so that the valve doesn't drop while you're doing it. Since it's out of the car, I just stuff a rag underneath the valve to hold it up while I do it. These things are tough coming out. They're not cooperating. So I've been just trying to cut them off, which is also tough. And there you go. Oh, look, a little tiny piece of metal. You don't want that there. I'm taking this off so I can clean underneath it. Oh, there's the valve. I'm just doing a quick wire wheel on these valves. I'm not lapping them in or anything. I don't think it's necessary right now at this point. Put the seals back on and put it back together. The old assembly lube. I know you guys love that. More assembly lube. Let me slip the valve in here. A rag. Valve seal. It always comes with a little plastic tube that you're supposed to put over the top of these, and I never have used it and never have had a problem. This socket is the exact size of the outside of the seal where it's metal, not where it's rubber. A little assembly lube. Keepers. Now this little tool will go together like this. This is how you install them. See, this is spring loaded and you just put it on there like this. You're supposed to hit it with a hammer, but I was able to do it without hitting it with a hammer, so that's nice. Just a little tap to make sure the keepers are seated good. Now on to the next one, and then I have, let's see, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to go. If you've seen one, you've seen 9, so I'm gonna finish this up real quick. I've got a new seal, but the old one was actually still in very good shape, very pliable. I just figured it'd be easier to put the seal in now. Sometimes you just got to get down on the floor and scrub up the rocker arms and all that stuff. It's just quicker and easier that way. If you have to torque bolts, typically you want to keep them lubed so you get an accurate torque. Slowly and evenly pull the camshaft down. Don't get in a hurry. The reason there's pressure is because some of the valves are halfway open, some aren't. And most likely I'm going to set these valves now on the bench before we even put it on the car. 16 foot-pounds. Let's see, 16 times 12. Let's see. 192 inch-pounds. Cam bolts are no joke. You better torque them to the correct specs. Crisscross pattern starting in the middle. These two little bolts, 9 foot-pounds. Let's see, 9 times 12, 108 inch-pounds. There we go. Keyway, sprocket, bolt. This one, 27 foot-pounds. Unfortunately, somebody has snagged my adapter. I can't find it anywhere, so I'm gonna have to guess at this one. It's not as critical as those other bolts. It's about 27. Just in case. 5 thousandths on the intake and 10 on the exhaust. I'm just going to rotate the camshaft until I see the flattest part here on the cam hitting this rocker, and then I adjust the valve. We can do 2 at a time on the intakes because they open at the same time. Let's see how loose that one right there is. So this one was about 11 thousandths, so double what we needed over. I didn't tell a fib, but I will tell you something. You can actually adjust these 5 to 7 thousandths, but I always just adjust them at 5 because I'll just leave the feeler gauge just a hair loose. You want it to drag, but that way if it's too loose, I don't have to worry about it because I still got 2 thousandths. It's better than being over tight though. You don't want them over tight. That's how you'll burn a valve. Too loose sounds like ball bearings in a coffee can, so we don't want that either. Cleanup time for the engine block. I've got rags on the cylinders so that if the stuff gets in there, I'll be able to get it out. It won't go down in between the rings. You want to be careful not to get anything abrasive in any internal engine parts. Done scraping. Now I'm going to use this to finish it off. It's a little wheel, plastic fingers on it, so it won't be abrasive if any of it breaks off. And also it will not dig into the steel and make it uneven for the head gasket surface. You still have to be very careful not to get all this crap down into the cylinders or any place it doesn't belong. Also, even though you're using this, don't stay in one spot. Move along. Keep moving along. Don't take off no more than you have to. I can't stress enough the importance of getting everything clean, keeping things clean as you go. Internal engine stuff has got to stay clean. When I remove the rags, see here, I'm careful. Try to pull it from the outside in. Get the debris in the center. Pull the rag out. Debris in the center. Pull the rag out carefully. That one had a double rag, see? That's good. Don't forget to remove the rags from your cylinder. Might sound silly, but if you're up at 3 a.m. because you have bills to pay and kids to feed, you might do that. You might forget them in there. A little compressed air around the rings in case there is a few debris particles left over. One more quick wipe down. Locating pins, you cannot leave these out. Sometimes they'll get stuck with a head gasket. Make sure you get them and install them. Head gasket, for some reason I think the blue lines are supposed to be up. I am not positive on that. Cylinder head. And this we need to be careful with also. There she go. Nice. Very nice. To ensure proper torque of the head bolts, you must oil the threads. Didn't have to buy new head bolts because these are not torqued to yield, which is very nice. So you can reuse them. Also, all I have to do is torque them to 22 and then 50 foot-pounds. Easy enough. Start in the center, crisscross your way out. I'm not worried on this one, but some vehicles you got to be careful. Wires and stuff don't get slid underneath the head there. That would be a mess. Another thing I forgot to mention, you got to make sure you check down in the head bolts where they go. If there is antifreeze in that hole where the bolt goes, it could hydrolock and crack your block. And if it doesn't crack your block, you're not going to have your head gasket torqued down properly. 22 foot-pounds. And you can read in the book the pattern you're supposed to use, but as long as you start in the middle and you crisscross out, you will be just fine. Book says you can torque it now to 49 foot-pounds, but I'm going to do 40 first. And then I'm going to do 50. I've got the engine supported with a jack. That was a tight bolt. This bracket had 2 bolts, so this one was tough to get to. I got it out, and now we can remove the timing belt with ease. The tensioner needs to be removed, And I already loosened it up, so it should come out of there. Spring loaded. Working from underneath here, we're going to take this crank pulley off. Yeah. Hopefully you see why I took that off, so we can replace that seal, and it has possibly been leaking. I'm going to try and stab a screwdriver in the middle of the seal if I get lucky. There we go. Oh, I don't want to get up in the edge. Oh, wow. Well, it's out. Limited space here. I can't get a socket or anything on it. I'm going up with a tensioner. I don't know how you're gonna see it. It's impossible, I think. There it is installed. It's the blue pulley. Can you see it? I'm doing my best here. You can't see it up here, but the keyway is chipped a little bit at the very end here. I don't like that. There is a timing mark right here, a little dot, and one right here, a little groove. So I'm going to line those up. I decided to refer to the book for the timing marks because I got to thinking I had the piston set at top dead center. Why would I move that position? Well, I wouldn't. Those marks are not what we're going by. Go in here, and there is a mark right in there. I don't know if you'll ever see it. Yeah, no, yes, no. You might be able to see that. There's a pointer right in there, and it points at the flywheel in a specific location, and that is top dead center. So I'm glad I referred to the book. You really need to when you're doing timing stuff. The top one was aligned correctly, so now I will slip this belt in here. The belt's been installed and timed correctly. The first time I was 1 tooth off, so I had to go back and back the cam gear up a little bit and move the belt 1 tooth. All good now. I'm going to install that bracket right there that we took out. It's just too tight up in that car to film, so you'll have to use your imagination a little bit. The next part that's going on is this, and there's one on each side of the belt, and it just holds the belt in place so it doesn't go like that. Next, I'll put this cover on, and then our harmonic balancer, which has a chip out of it for some reason, and it's got a keyway. Water pump pulley. I did get the drive belts installed. The AC compressor is locked up, so I left that one off. The exhaust manifold needs some cleanup and modification. I need to remove these two pipes and weld those holes up. This right here will be a nice port for a wideband so that we can tune the car. Crack right here will need to be welded up. Also on the back side here, there appears to be another little crack right there. And one of our studs is stripped. I cut down a couple carriage bolts. There's one. Must have a little burr on it. There we go. And here's the other one. No burr on that one. I'll center it up and weld them in. That should work. I don't think any exhaust will be coming out of that. Should you drill a hole on each end? Yes. Should you preheat this? Yes. Should you weld it with nickel rod? Yes. Am I going to do any of that? No. You might be thinking to yourself, Benny, is that really going to hold? And my answer to you would be, I don't know, probably. There's the underside all welded up. Why no cleanup, Benny? Why no cleanup on that sloppy weld? Because I don't want to. Could we make and or purchase a header, a stainless steel header for this one day? That'd be nice. Kind of funny, I really struggled getting this manifold out, but putting it back in went real easy, which is unusual. Heat shield. All of these coolant hoses have been removed and will be replaced because they're junk. But remember, I've got to clean all the components out on the car because it's full of this. So I'm going to rinse out the radiator and heater core and all that kind of stuff. If you're taking old hoses off of a heater core, make sure you always cut them with a razor blade. Do not even attempt to try to get a hose off of an old heater core. That would be foolish. You're taking a chance of breaking a heater core, and a lot of times there'll be enough hose you can even cut this end off and slip it back on if you have to, if it's still good. But do not try to remove a heater hose from a heater core by just tugging and twisting. That's what's dripping out of the heater core right now. Here's a peek at the intake manifold I'm putting on that will go along with our motorcycle carburetors. The reason I have to put this on right now is because to take it outside and wash it, I gotta block these holes off. I'm gonna tape them up. I just figured it'd be the easiest way. While we're at it, here are the carburetors that's gonna be going on this car. They're off a CBR 900RR Honda motorbike. I flushed out all the components of the coolant system. They were all in terrible shape, stopped up with oil and coolant and just a mess. And when I flushed it out, it blew it all over the place under the hood here, so I ended up cleaning up with a pressure washer the engine bay, and it looks a whole lot better. Can you see the difference on camera? Look down in there. Isn't that nice? Big improvement. Now, I think I'm going to throw the distributor on real quick. This thermostat housing has to go on before the distributor. This distributor will go on only one way. It doesn't have a gear or anything like that, and you can't get it 180 out. If you do, and you go to tighten it up, you will break the ear of this distributor out. For some reason it sticks out if it's in the wrong spot. So be careful of that. Nice new thermostat and seal. It has little dimples here that you need to match on this side when you put it together. There it goes. And that's so that this little valve is on the top. Ready for hoses. Auto parts stores aren't going to have the exact fit on the heater hoses, and I couldn't find them online, so I went back and kind of matched one up that would probably work. Hard to get you in there, but I'm so proud of this hose I picked out. It's like the perfect fit, because what they had on there was not original. It was a straight piece with a big giant loop around it, and it looked terrible. I've got to go underneath here, and hook a radiator hose up, so I thought I might as well change the oil too while I'm at it. Not my favorite brand, but it came with the car, so I'm going to use it. The oil already in the oil filter smells like gasoline where those carburetors were flooding. This is one of those oversized drain plugs, so they must have had trouble in the past, but this one fits nice. Man, I'm sleepy. It's like probably 3 in the afternoon, but I'm so sleepy. The stove's on, it's nice and warm in here. I'm so sleepy. I should take a nap. All of the new coolant hoses are installed, and I blocked up all the holes that we're no longer going to need. I have no clue how much oil this thing holds. Maybe 4 quarts, I would guess, but I don't know. My beautifully cleaned reservoir. Let me see if I can find a clamp. We have some parts that just arrived. I've already got the wires they came in. Some old Belden. This is a fuel filter that I didn't need. There's like 3 of them in the car, new ones. Oh, this is kind of like JB Weld. I'm going to use it for the block on the Datsun, the little tiny crack. I just want to see if that'll take care of our problem. Distributor cap for the lube. Still waiting on the rotor, I guess. And this is the hose we needed to put our carburetors onto our new intake manifold. On the Prelude, I don't know how to cut a piece of hose this big straight, and I need 4 of these. I've been cutting them, but they're not pretty. I'm gonna cut my hand off if I don't watch it. So there we go. I got 4 of them now. Just a quick test fit. Everything's looking good. View of the intake side. We've got to do a little work to these carbies before we put them on. Look, I finally got a JIS screwdriver. Japanese industrial standard. And it's shipped straight from Japan. So I'm proud of that screwdriver. It's like $7 or $8 too, man. Oof. It's got little grippy right there. Isn't that nice? So when I spin it like that, it's grippy. I like. The screws on these carburetors are perfect, like it's never been into before. And look there, it looks pretty clean. Our first one anyways. Quite clean looking in here actually, but what I need to do is ream out these main jets because I need them to be about 150s and they're 124s. But I'm not buying new, I'm just going to ream these out. I always use the biggest screwdriver I can to get these jets out. Look at that one. The whole deal's coming out on that one. Is that an emulsion tube? I'd rather it just comes out like that. And one more. We're going to be in need of some more fuel, so I'm going to ream it out with this right here, and that one fits, and then I'm going to step it up. These are torch tip cleaners. I'm going to step it up 1, and this one does not fit, but when I get done with it, it will. And that'll open up our jet here a little bit and give us a little more fuel. This may not be a permanent solution, but we got to start somewhere, and I know it's going to need some more fuel than what motorcycle carburetors get. That's it, that's good enough. I have to remove these goofy idle adjustment screws because I don't have the tool to adjust them. I got carburetor kit, and in the kit it has replacements for these, and they have a regular flat head on them. These are like a D shape. These are the new ones, just regular standard what's supposed to be on there. Gonna remove the floats so that I can put new needle and seats in there so that they don't leak all over the place. I have absolutely no carburetor cleaner, so I've got this engine degreaser, and I'm gonna spray them with that. I'll get these blown off. I'm not gonna show that on camera because it sprays all over my lens. I don't want that to happen. Look, I'm gonna get out of hand and just wash the whole thing down. All blown out, ready to go back together. Here is a washer and a spring. This is our idle screw. Number 2, 3, and 4. Screw them all the way in. Now we'll come out 2.5 turns. 1, 2, half. 1, 2, 3 more, and I'll adjust them all 2.5 turns out. 1, 2 and a half. Reinstall our main jets. Four new needles, and they're the wrong size. And unfortunately, the most important part I need, this needle, is the wrong size in the kit I have. So, surprise, surprise. We're gonna just go back with the old ones for now. I'm just hoping this WD-40 will soften them up a little bit. They feel pretty crusty. Probably not gonna work good. Why can't we get parts that fit anymore? Well, I'm shocked to find out the bowl gaskets fit. So that's nice. The old ones are certainly quite crunchy. And that's what I'm afraid of too with the old needles. They got rubber on the tip, and if it's like this, they're not going to work very well. I'll slather some grease in here. New seal. The grease will hold it in place. One other thing we need to do is raise those needles up if we can. I took the screws out of this bracket. It controls these chokes, and 1 or 2 of them or whatever are stuck, so I gotta free them up. Let's see, this one works. Ooh, I just dropped the washer. I'm gonna watch my parts here. This one, a little sticky, but seems to be working okay. That one's froze up. That one's good. This one's froze. This one could use a little help. I'll work it in and out. I was able to free them all up, so they're working good. Let's get one of these off and see if we can raise that needle up inside of there. What I want to do is raise this needle up so it'll get more fuel. And if my memory serves me right, you'll take one of these screws from the top cap, thread it into this part right here, and then we should be able to pop it out. Probably need some baby pliers. Let's see. Yeah, she's stuck. Let's see here. Oh, well, there it goes. Hopefully you guys saw that. It's held in with this O-ring right here on the end of the doodad. Now there's a spring in here that's going to fall out, and there's our needle. Now that little clip right there will want to go down 2 notches on each carburetor. I'm going to put a little grease on this O-ring to make it slide in there easier for me. Now I'll slip our pin back in here, our needle. Oh, there's a washer in there that I forgot. That's alright. I'll just make sure we get... I did forget this washer, but that's okay. Just thread the needle in there, like so. The spring. You guys have no idea how difficult this is for me. I cannot see anything. And now this mofo. And there we go. The first one's done and ready to be reinstalled, and I'll do the other 3 now. We'll get our choke lever back on here. There's a bushing there. One here. Stick this bracket on there, like so. Little plastic bushing will go on this side. Oh, don't lose that. Will go on this side like that. Plastic bushing on top. Plastic bushing on top. Screw, screw. Now, test run, and it's working good. Just a little white lithium grease. That's a little more than I wanted to put on there, but I was gonna put fuel lines on here and notice that this is very loose and I doubt it's gonna seal, so there'll be fuel pouring out of both sides of that, especially with our fuel pump. So I took the choke lever back off, and now I gotta take this carburetor off and this carburetor off and see if there's O-rings in here or what. And it does have O-rings. There are 2 O-rings on each of these T's, so they'll have to be replaced. I have no clue how this is possible, but I have 4 O-rings, the exact size I need, and they are made for gasoline. Isn't that crazy? Just 4 of them, exactly 4. Good enough. Every now and then you get lucky. Ah, my spring fell out down in there. Let's check the needle and seats and those O-rings we just put in. That side's good. That side's good. I've got to put a T right here in these lines because these 2 carburetors are supplied right here, these 2 over here. This is a PEX fitting. I don't know if it'll hold up the gasoline or not, but that's what I have here right now, so that's what I'm going to use. Fuel lines all clamped up and ready to be installed. Now for these crooked little guys. All of our little intake hoses are installed. I use these narrow clamps. They're more narrow than a typical hose clamp. Time for these carburetors to be installed. This is a big moment for a little Benny. Look at that, they fit nice. I did make a mistake on this clamp size, I think. they just barely fit. Just kind of nice. There's no extra, but you can barely get them started too. Carburetors are installed. We're gonna have to do a little work with a throttle cable, but for now that'll work. Fuel lines hooked up. They are ready to go. 4 new Denso plugs, gapped at 40 thousandths. Nice new set of plugs. Always put them in finger tight first. These have crush rings on them, so after they're tight, I think you go an extra quarter turn to crush the crush ring on it. Let's test my theory. That's a quarter. And that's a half. So I would say half turn after you snug the plug up. Let's try it again. That's snug. Quarter. Nah, about half. I usually don't count how much I do it. I just go by feel. Like, that feels good. New rotor, new cap. I'm gonna have to loosen the distributor, turn it just a little bit just to get this cap on. Nice new set of Belden wires installed. Almost go time. I'm gonna fill it up with water for now, because who knows how many leaks we have. I have no clue, and won't hurt to flush it some more too. You saw what the coolant system looks like. Water is pouring out somewhere as we speak. This O-ring was missing off the petcock, causing a big leak. Round 2. Has a bleeder right here. Can you see it? That's nice. That's what you want. Well, I think it's time to give it a crank and see what happens. Will it start? I don't know. November 29th, 2023, 9:22 a.m. Here we go. Hey now, I heard a little something, something. Hello. Well, she woke up. That's a good sign. Let's let it get warmed up. Well, well, well. I am quite pleased at the first start because it started. Seems pretty smooth. Not bad at all for our very first start. I've been running a little while and it smells rich. Let's look at a spark plug. I'm just curious. Really probably gonna have to get a wideband and put it where that O2 sensor is in this manifold so we can tune it how it needs to be. Ow, it's hot. But let's see what we got going on here. I know we need to run it more, but it's actually dry and clean looking, like it's burning good, so that's a good sign. We have got to yard drive this thing, but I can't close the hood because of the throttle cable, so I'm rigging it up so it'll work for now. If the hood wasn't such a pain to get off, I'd just take it off, but that was junk. It's actually pretty good. Well, here we go. First rip in the lewd. Yeah. Woo. Oh. First gear. I'm hoping the transmission's all good. Check it out. It's pretty smooth. Hey, she's got some pep in her step. Man, for a first drive, this is crazy. Crazy good. I'm gonna hammer on it. I am going to hammer on this thing. Oh, I forgot. Brakes. Let's see. That clutch don't feel too great. Clutch is slipping. There's third gear. The clutch is a slipping pretty good. So we're gonna have to put one in it. Woo! She's peppy though. Man, if that clutch would hold, I believe we'd take off. Look, the ride's nice and straight down the road. Speedometer does not work. Man, kind of sucks. The clutch will not hold, so we can't rip into this thing like I was wanting to. I'll bet it would fly if the clutch was working. Sure is smooth. Smooth as silk. Silky. Big old tractor in front of me, and he doesn't seem to care that I'm coming down the road. The idle's a little funky, no surprise. We'll have to work on that. The clutch sucks because I can't grip on it. The brakes, I'm gonna be honest with you. That caliper you saw me put on, that hose caliper in the beginning, I still haven't done it. I just put it in the beginning of the video. Here we go. Oh, brake light's on. First, second, brake light went on. Oh man. Ooh. The clutch is starting to hold. And she's starting to pull. This thing will pull. Woof. I am not unhappy with this. Quite pleased. It's gonna be a fun car right here. If that clutch would hold, can you guys hear it? Woof, she's moving. Our clutch is getting a little bit better as I drive this pile. Tires are shot, dry rotted. It's a little bit dangerous. Man, this thing's gonna scoot once we put a clutch in it. Have to get on the Rock Auto, give him some more of my money, my hard-earned cash. Here's the deal. Right out the gate, this sucker is really impressive. Look at that. I want to give her one more pull. Some kind of animal control. Going down the road, catch somebody's doggy. I'm not sure if slipping that clutch is helping it. That's why I keep driving it, but we're out of gas, so I need to get back home. Here's this guy to come kill us. Riding around with a little grain bin. Shoo. I give up. I give up. We need a clutch. This has really turned out well. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I sure did. This has been fun. For sure, more to come on this junk, guys. I'm loving this one. We'll see you next time. Oh, I was gonna make a grand adios, and the clutch just terrible. Man, that engine sounds good though. Woo! She's stinking. I burn her up good. Let's get it in the shop. El Chapo.